we gotta ask about the Latrell Sprewell, PJ Carlesimo altercation. I had no idea that you was on that team. You was back playing your hometown.
Yep.
On the Warriors at the time. What led to the chokehold Sprewell put on Carlesimo, and was there a buildup that y'all saw like it's bubbling over, it's bound to happen?
Yeah, so nobody really talked about it because the law enforcement put a gag order on us. The judge put a gag order on the whole team to not talk about the incident. But yeah, there was a buildup. Basically, PJ, who's a great guy, off the court and what have you, do anything for you to give you the shirt off his back, was a different animal when he was coaching, right? So he referred to everybody as motherfucker this, motherfucker that, and I had just got traded to the Warriors from Orlando. So when I first got there and he was addressing everybody and talking to everybody like that, I was like, damn, is dude always like this? So Spree was an all-star, had represented the Warriors. PJ had just come over from coaching Portland. And prior to that, he was a head coach at Seton Hall, right? So college coaches, completely different animal than NBA, right? And so he brought some of that college shit to the NBA, which don't fly. So he had some, I think, personal issues with Sprewell because Sprewell wore the cornrows, the French braids. Sprewell didn't adhere to the dress code. And now he worked and he was good. And so there's nothing that you could say about, his work ethic and everything else. But when we got on the plane or on the bus to go wherever, he wore what he wanted to wear, usually sweats and some slides. And he would have his headphones on listening to his music. And that bugged PJ. So he'd be, and back then we had a dress code. So Sprewell was smart. He said, look, man, PJ would always say something to him about what he had on, about his way his hair was braided. So Sprewell one time took off his headphones and he said, we were on the plane, and he said, listen, man, I talked to my agent. Y'all can find me $500 if I don't adhere to the dress code. We got 41 away games. So take 500 times 41, that's 20,000, whatever, $100 and 20,000, and take that shit out of my check and leave me the fuck alone. I'm gonna dress how I want to dress. Put his headphones back on and then start listening to, he used to listen to Wu-Tang all the time, right? And he always used to say, you don't want to fuck with a soldier. and so we're in practice one day, me, Bimbo Coles, and me, Muggsy Bogues, and Sprewell are shooting at a basket. PJ comes in. We're just doing 3-man shooting, and he just comes down. And he's like, "You got to give me more than that." To Spree, and Spree was a worker, so he didn't say nothing. He kept shooting. PJ went away. He came back a couple minutes later. He's like, "If that's all you gonna give me, get the fuck out of my gym." So Spree said, "Look, man. You say one more thing to me, I'm gonna fuck you up." So everybody kind of was like, everybody was at different baskets. So he came back and said something again. And that time when he came back, Spree just took the ball. He just dropped it. He just walked over to PJ, grabbed him around the neck. So to be honest, the other players, because of how PJ used to talk to him, was like, fuck it, go ahead, choke the shit out of his ass, right? And the assistant coaches and everybody, they all ran over trying to get Spree off of him. And he was like a crazed animal at that time. So he never let go of PJ's neck. He was kicking the assistants that was trying to get him loose. They finally pried him loose. And so then security came in and they kicked him out. So we met as a team. Now, this is in 97. And I'm one of the older guys on the team, even at that time, me, Muggsy Bogues. And so the PJ, Gary St. Jean, who was our GM, they meet, they say, listen, this happened in-house. We're going to keep it in-house. Don't nobody say anything to anybody. What do you guys think is an appropriate punishment for him, right? So we met, we said 10-game suspension. And he got to go to some anger management classes. So everybody agreed, okay, cool. That's what it'll be. That was going to cost him $1 million. So I live in Oakland, so practice ended. We're not supposed to say nothing to anybody. By the time I get home, 10 minutes from the practice facility, I turn on the TV. They got pictures of PJ's neck with the fingernail marks in his neck and everything. And the Warriors got to put their spin on what happened. But then we got a gag order that we couldn't talk about it. So what happened was they ended up suspending Spree for the rest of the season. He had the shoe contract with Converse at the time. So all the endorsements he had, they dropped him. They kind of painted him as the villain. And like we didn't condone what he did, but it's two sides to every story. So we decided as a team, we gonna go when he had a press conference, we gonna stand up behind the stage and support of our teammate. Well, we also told all the guys, the young guys, look, for y'all that don't have a lot of skin in the game, you might not want to get up here on the stage because it's going to be the beginning of the end for us. But we just want to make it clear that we are here to support him. We don't condone what he did, and he's going to apologize for it, and we standing here behind him. Me, Bimbo Coles, Joe Smith, Felton Spencer, Robert Ory, who was playing for Houston. We were getting ready to play them, and him and Spree went to Alabama together, so he even came and stood behind there with us. And it was maybe one or two other guys, and Dwayne Farrell. So we stand up behind him. Spree apologizes and what have you. About 2 weeks later, I'm in the hotel, get a knock on the door. It's PJ Carlesimo. We're in Portland. You and Joe Smith just got traded to Philadelphia for Jim Jackson and Clarence Weatherspoon. And then everybody who stood behind
all traded.
Traded or Dickie Simpkins got cut.
Yeah.
I see him, I'm flying to Portland. I see him at the airport. I'm like, me and Joe Smith at the airport. I'm like, man, what you doing here? You got traded too? He was like, nah, they cut me. That's exactly how it went down. And it was a buildup. It was frustration because the team was losing. PJ was hard on everybody, like I told you earlier, how the coaches used to deal with players. And Spree wasn't having it. Yeah. And so
y'all had his back though. He better get y'all some Sprewell room for free.
Right.
Shit.
Better have them dollars.
Yeah. Something. Y'all better have some real shit.
We wanted to take a brief break from the episode to let you know that Prize Picks has got you guys covered when it comes to helping you make some money during the NBA season.
That's right, baby. Prize Picks is helping me cash in. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy app, and with the NBA season in full swing, you can select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and turn $25 into $250. Prize Picks is really easy, simple to play. I can make my picks and submit my entry in less than 60 seconds, y'all.
It's also that time of the year where many sports are happening at the same time. And of course, Prize Picks allows you to pick combo projections across all different sports like basketball. You can even do esports like League of Legends and CS2 Go. So you can support all your favorite teams while still cashing in.
Well, I know for me, I've been cashing in. I don't know about that. I'm talking about Legion of Dooms and all that stuff. But that's a story for another day. Be sure to visit prizepicks.com/podcastp and use code podcastp for a first deposit match up to $100. And y'all already know what time it is.
Cha-ching!